Hello students, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss remaining bits from the level 1. Question number 23. Organic compounds evolved on earth and required for origin of life were options 1. Proteins and nucleic acids, 2. Urea and amino acids, 3. Proteins and amino acids, 4. Urea and nucleic acids. So let's see. Proteins provide a limiting membrane and boundary to primitive entities. Nucleic acids were important information molecules which were required to build self-replicating entities. Hence, both proteins and nucleic acids are required for origin of life. So the correct answer is option 1. Question number 24. Wolfram Haldane's view on origin of life was first experimentally proved by 1. Malthus, 2. Plato, 3. Louis Pasteur, 4. Stanley Miller. Wolfram Haldane. These two scientists proposed theory of chemical evolution. Now let's see that about the remaining scientists given here. Malthus. He proposed Malthusian theory of evolution. According to this theory, the theory of exponential population and arithmetic food supply growth. Plato is early Greek philosopher, supported the theory of spontaneous generation. So life is spontaneously originated from the non-living objects. Louis Pasteur. He disproved the theory of spontaneous generation. Stanley Miller. So Stanley Miller and Urey experimentally proved the theory of chemical evolution proposed by Oparin and Haldane. So the correct answer is Stanley Miller give the experimental proof for the origin of life based on the theory of Oparin and Haldane. Question number 25. Survival of fittest was used by options 1. Charles Darwin, 2. Spencer, 3. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, 4. Hugo de Vries. So let's see. Survival of fittest was coined by Herbert Spencer, not by Darwin. And here it is given some of the scientists, that is Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. He proposed the use and disuse theory, and Hugo de Vries mutation theory, and Charles origin of that means origin of species. It is by Charles Darwin, and Spencer is the person coined the survival of fittest. So the correct answer is Spencer. Question number 26. Most of the fossils occurs in rocks. Options 1. Sedimentary, 2. Metamorphic, 4. Igneous, 4. None of the above. So let's see. Fossils are most commonly found in sedimentary rocks. Unlike metamorphic and igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks form at temperatures and pressures that do not destroy fossil remnants. Sedimentary fossils may only be visible when studied under a microscope. The chance of fossilization is higher when sedimentation rate is high or when the organism had a particularly hard skeleton. So as per this information, Most of the fossils occur in rocks of sedimentary. So the correct answer is option 1. Question number 27. Coaservatives are options 1. Protein aggregates, 2. Protein and lipid aggregates, 3. Chemical aggregates, 4. Probionts with polysaccharides, proteins and water. So these coaservatives are, this question we need to refer question number 15 in level 1. So there we are getting the information that the coaservatives are clusters of proteins which tend to form droplets when introduced in water. A coaservative is formed when an organized layer of water molecules form around the large protein molecules. So that's a reason why the coaservatives are protein aggregates. So the correct option is 1. Question number 28. Mammals were evolved from options 1. Sauropsids, 2. Synapsids, 3. Thegodonts, 4. Tyrannosaurus. So let's see the information about the evolution of the mammals. So synapsids are theropsids are a group of animals which include mammals and all those animals which are more closely related to mammals. The primitive synapsids were known as Polychosaurus, and the advanced mammal-like synapsids were known as therapsids. So in this photograph, we can observe that so early Carboniferous period, the early reptiles are originated and they are extinct. So from that, the early primitive synapsids are called as Pelycosaurus. From that, they are started to evaluate the mammals. So the correct answer is synapsids. So advanced mammal-like synapsids were known as the therapsids. So the correct answer, mammals are evoluted from synapsids. They are reptiles. From that, the mammals are originated. So the correct answer is synapsids. Question number 29. Light colored peppered moth or Biston betularia gets changed to its darker Carbonaria variety due to options 1. Translocation of block of genes in response to heavy carbons, 2. Deletion of gene segment due to industrialization, 3. Mutation of single Mendelian gene for survival in smoke laden industrial environment, 4. Industrial carbon deposited on wings. So let's see. The light colored peppered moth or Biston betularia gets changed to darker. That means big. So it is a concept of industrial melanism. So it is due to that mutation of a single gene that we will call as the point mutation. Mutation of a single gene. Change in a single gene is called as point mutation. So mutation of single gene for survival in smoky industrial environment. So that gene, it brings that melanin color of that means black colored of the peppered moth. So due to industrialization, the black colored peppered moth are escaped from their predators, and the reciprocal colored moths, that is white light colored moths, are identified by their predators and their population is decreases. So that is happen, the development of that black color is due to the mutation in a single gene. It brings the black color in the peppered moth. So the correct answer is option 3, mutation of single Mendelian gene for survival in smoke laden industrial environment. So why it is a Mendelian gene? That means the Mendelian gene is nothing but the gene is inherited to the next generation or transfers to the next generations to survive in the smoky industrial environment. So the correct option is 3. Question number 30. Most advanced theory of origin of life is that of options 1. Catastrophic, 2. Haldane and Oparin, 3. Cosmozoic, 4. Spontaneous. You may know the direct answer for this question, but we should know the remaining theories also: catastrophic, cosmozoic, and spontaneous, what that theory said. So let's see. Theory of catastrophe proposed by Georges Cuvier and Orbigny. According to this theory, great destruction occurs upon Earth from time to time, which completely destroys all organisms. New organisms then suddenly form from inorganic matter. Haldane and Oparin, they gave a chemical evolution theory. According to this theory, the complex organic molecule would have been formed through a series of chemical reactions in the Earth's primordial soup. It is most advanced theory of origin of life. Cosmozoic theory. It is proposed by the Richard. According to this theory, protoplasm reached the earth in the form of spores from some unknown part of the universe with the cosmic dust and evolved into various forms of the life. Spontaneous generation or theory of spontaneous generation. So it is proposed by the early Greek philosophers. According to this theory, the life originates from non-living things in a spontaneous manner. So among all these theories, the chemical evolution theory is a more advanced and more supporting to the origin of life. So the correct answer is option 2. Question number 31. The term hot dilute soup was given by options 1. Haldane, 2. Urey, 3. Oparin, 4. None of the above. So in these options, second one option is Urey along with Stanley Miller. They conducted the experiments and they give the experimental proof for the chemical evolution of theory proposed by Oparin and Haldane. Now let's see who given that hot dilute soup the term. So the theory of hot dilute soup was given by Haldane to refer to prebiotic versions where organic biomolecules were produced from simple inorganic compounds. So the term hot dilute soup was given by Haldane. Option 1. Question number 32. Which is incorrect about probionts in abiogenic origin of life? So abiogenic is nothing but non-living origin of life. Options 1. they are partially isolated from surroundings. 2. They could maintain an internal environment. 3. They were able to reproduce. 4. They could separate combination of molecules from the surroundings. So let's know about what are these probionts. A probiont is an aggregate of abiotically produced organic molecules surrounded by a membrane. Probionts exhibit the properties associated with life, including simple reproduction, metabolism, maintenance of an internal chemical environment different from the surroundings. They were partially isolated from the environment, but they could not separate combinations of molecules from the surroundings. So as per this information, option 1, 2, 3 are correct. That is, the probionts exhibit that characters, that means that properties, partially isolated from surroundings, maintain an internal environment between chemical environment from their surrounding environment, and they are able to simple reproduction we can observe in that probionts. So they are partially isolated, but they could separate could not separate combinations of molecules. So here in fourth option, they could not, here not should be here, then this statement also will cover. Here they could not separate combination of molecules from the surroundings, but in this option it is given they could separate combination of molecules. So this is the incorrect statement. So option 4 is correct option. Question number 33. Higher frequency of melanic moths and DDT resistance in mosquitoes are examples of options. 1. Point mutation. 2. Genetic drift. 3. Natural selection. 4. Survival of the fittest. So already we knew that what is that point mutation. That means mutation in a single gene is called as point mutation. So now we are very well known that the melanic moth and DDT resistance. These two are the examples for the natural selection. So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 34. Which of the following pair of organisms shows convergent evolution? Here the convergent evolution supports the analogous organs. So analogous organs are they have the similar function but differ in their origin, analogous. So convergent evolution supports analogy. Now see the options here. Option 1, kangaroo wombat. 2. Koel bandicoot. 4. Lemurs spotted cuscus. 4. All of the above. Among these pair of organisms, which pair of organism shows that convergent evolution, shows that analogy? So in this kangaroo, wombat, koel and bandicoot, these 4 organisms, koel, bandicoot, wombat and kangaroo, they show adaptive radiation or divergent evolution. That means they shows homology, not analogy. Homology is nothing but origin is same, functions are different. Same origin, but functions are different in these animals. So next, the lemurs and spotted cuscus. Lemurs and spotted cuscus are the showing convergent evolution. They are analogy. Functions are same but differ in their origin. So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 35. The following figure shows the options: 1. Homologous organs, 2. Analogous organs, 3. Divergent evolution, 4. Both 1 and 3 options. So now let's see these diagrams. The both diagrams, one is thorns in bougainvillea and another one is the tendrils in cucurbita. So the first one is bougainvillea and the second one is the cucurbita. Tendrils in cucurbita, thorns in the bougainvillea. So these thorns and tendrils in these two plants is same. The tendril in cucurbita and the thorn in bougainvillea originate from the axillary buds, but they perform different functions. Thorns perform the function defense, protection, whereas tendril gives the support for the climbing. So the origin is same, but function is different, homology. So let's see. So the first diagram, thorns in bougainvillea, and second one is tendril in cucurbita. Both are examples for the homologous organs. Homologous organs are nothing but differ in function, same in origin. So the thorn and tendril, thorn in bougainvillea and tendril in cucurbita, they are originate from the same, that is axillary bud, but differ in their function. Thorns meant for the defense, protection, and tendrils meant for support for climbing, differ in their function. So these two show the divergent evolution. So the correct answer is homologous organs as well as divergent evolution. So the correct option is both 1 and 3 options are correct. So option 4. Question number 36. Which one supports Darwin's concept of natural selection? Options: 1. Development of transgenic animals. 2. Production of dolly sheep by cloning. 3. Prevalence of pesticide resistant insects. 4. Development of organs from stem cells for organ transplantation. So this we need to refer the question number 22 in part 1 video. So last question in the part 1 video. The question is same as it is repeated. Actually this question we are discussed. The same question we are discussed in part 1 video, question number 22. So let's see what is that information given there. Repeated use of the same class of pesticides to control a pest can cause undesirable change in the gene pool of a pest, leading to another form of pesticide resistance. So by using that same class of pesticide DDT, it causes the change in the gene pool, mutation, that leads to the getting resistance against that chemical. So the correct answer is prevalence of pesticide resistance in insects. So correct option is 3. Question number 37. Unit of evolution is options: population, 2. Species, 3. Individuals, 4. Subspecies. So you are already studied in first PUC. Species are the units of taxonomy. So now let's come to this question, unit of evolution. So the unit of evolution is population because it is the smallest unit that can undergo any type of evolution. So the correct answer is option 1. Population is the unit of evolution and species is the unit of Taxonomy, taxonomical unit. Question number 38. Which period is largely associated with extinction of dinosaurs, increase in flowering plants and reptiles? Options: Triassic, 2. Jurassic, 3. Cretaceous, 4. Permian. So in this Cretaceous period of Mesozoic era on Earth about 65 to 146 million years ago. So Cretaceous period of Mesozoic era. So means all these Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic, all these three comes under Mesozoic era. Mesozoic era is subdivided into three periods, that is Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic. So in that Cretaceous period of Mesozoic era, it is about 65 to 146 million years ago. During this period, the flowering plants are appeared and they become dominant. Flowering plants are nothing but angiosperms are dominant during Cretaceous period of Mesozoic era. The mass extinction of dinosaurs are occurred. So in these options, Jurassic period is the golden age of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are the more. But when it comes to the Cretaceous, the dinosaurs are mass extincted. So next, modern continents became well separated. So until that continents are fused, continental drift theory, continents are continuously moving. So the modern continents are become well separated during this Cretaceous period. So here among these four options, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. First is Triassic, second one is Jurassic, third one is Cretaceous periods in Mesozoic era. In that Mesozoic era, in which period extinction of dinosaurs, increase in angiosperms or flowering plants and reptiles are takes place? That is the question. So in that the Jurassic period, dinosaurs are abundant. That is golden age of dinosaurs. These dinosaurs are mass extincted during Cretaceous period of Mesozoic era. So the correct option is Cretaceous period. Option 3. Question number 39. In evolution of horse, two most important anatomical and morphological changes brought about are options: 1. Limbs and tail, 2. Limbs and teeth, 3. Teeth and tail, 4. Limbs and height. So let's see that what are the developments are included in the evolution of horse. So the major changes in development of horse include size of the horse as well as height, the development of the forelimbs, and complexity of tooth and shape. So these are the major changes in the development of horse during evolution. So, but the question is that two most important anatomical and morphological. So here we should know about that anatomical and morphological clearly. Anatomical is nothing but internal part. Morphological is the external. Morphological changes, anatomical changes, changes in the internal part. Morphological changes in the external parts of the body. So now let's see that what are that external and internal parts of the horse in that options. In first option, limbs and tail both are morphological, external. Second, limbs and teeth. Teeth is present in mouth, that is anatomical. Limb is external. Option 3, teeth and tail. Tail is not included in the evolutionary pattern. So that's why it is not considered. And for limbs and height, height is also morphological, limbs is also morphological. So among these four options, the exact answer, the two most important anatomical teeth and morphological limbs is the correct answer. Why not tail? Because in evolution of horse, the major changes we can observe in the limbs, height as well as in tooth and shape, not in the tail. So that's why it is not a correct answer. The correct answer is option 2. Limbs and teeth are the two most important anatomical and morphological changes. Question number 40. Allopatric speciation is caused by options 1. Temporal isolation, 2. Adaptive radiation, 3. Geographic isolation, 4. Reproductive isolation. Let's know about that allopatric speciation. So allopatric speciation is due to geographical separation or isolation between the two populations of the same species. This geographical isolation prevents mating between, that is reproduction between the two organisms of the same species, because they are geographically separated. As a result, there is no gene flow in the population. So allopatric speciation is due to the geographic isolation, separation of geographic, that means separation between geographical land, a small group of land isolated. As a result, the population present on that land area is also separated, which are belongs to same species. So the correct answer is option 3, geographic isolation. Question number 41, which was not given by Darwin. Options 1. Variations, 2. Natural selection, 3. Survival of fittest, 4. Struggle for existence. So among these options, Darwin theory or Darwinism explains natural selection, struggle for existence, and variations. So Darwinism cannot explain survival of fittest. So that is a correct option, that is 3. Question number 42. In the embryos of a grass, true analogous structures are, grass belongs to monocot. Options 1. Coleorhiza and Coleoptile, 2. Coleoptile and Scutellum, 3. Cotyledons and Scutellum, 4. Hypocotyle and Radicle. So in these options, Coleoptile, Scutellum, Cotyledon and Scutellum, Coleorhiza, Coleoptile, Hypocotyle and Radicle, all are the parts of an embryo. So in this, the Coleoptile, Coleorhiza, Scutellum, these are all present in monocot embryo only. So that's why grass monocot embryo. In that cotyledons and scutellum, that is both are same in monocots. Single cotyledon is present, that is called as the scutellum. Both are same, cotyledons and scutellum. Coleoptile and scutellum, these two are different. And hypocotyle and radical, hypo and radical. So radical is the root part. Hypocotyle is the below the axis of the embryonal axis. Part is called as hypocotyle. Epicotyle above the embryonal axis. Below the embryonal axis, hypocotyle. That is a region of embryo which is below the embryonal axis. That is hypocotyle. So now let's see that. First of all, know that analogous, performing a similar function. Function is same, but differ in their origin. So among these options, Coleorhiza and Coleoptile, these two are performing same function, that is protection, but they are originate is different because Coleorhiza is a layer, tissue layer which surrounds the root part and protects the root cap, that means root tip. And coleoptile is surrounds the stem apex. It protects the stem apex. So both are located in different parts. Origin is different, but function is wherever their origin, but their function is same. They are doing protection, providing protection to the apex of their regions. So the correct answer is Coleorhiza and Coleoptile. Question number 43. Origin of life occurred in option 1 pre-Cambrian era, 2 Cenozoic era, 3 Paleozoic era, 4 Mesozoic era. So let's see. Pre-Cambrian era is the time period that extends from about 46 million years ago to beginning of the Cambrian period 541 million years ago. The earliest evidence, Precambrian microfossils that resemble algae, cysts of flagellates, that indicates that the origin of life is occurred in the Precambrian era. So the correct answer is option 1. Question number 44. Cro-Magnon man is options Homo sapiens fossils, 2 Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, 3 Homo habilis, 4 Homo erectus. Let's see. Cro-Magnon man was discovered in 1868. Cro-Magnon man was the first fossil to be recognized as belonging to Homo sapiens. So it is a first fossil belonging to the Homo sapiens. Here in the fourth option, Homo erectus. So this Homo erectus is commonly called as Java man. It is discovered in Java in 1891, but Cro-Magnon man fossil is discovered in 1868. So it is a fossil of Homo sapiens. So the correct answer is option 1. Question number 45. Ages of fishes was in which period? Options 1 Silurian, 2 Ordovician, 3 Devonian, 4 Permian. Let's know that evolutionary scale. Paleozoic era is subdivided into 6 periods. They are Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and Permian. These are the 6 periods comes under Paleozoic era. So in Cambrian period, first chordate or protochordates are appeared. During Ordovician period, jawless fishes, that is ostracoderms, are appeared. Silurian period, jawed fishes are developed. In Devonian period, fishes become abundant, that is considered as golden age of fishes. Carboniferous period, amphibians are abundant, that is golden age of amphibians. And Permian period, mammals like reptiles are appeared, that is synapses are appeared during Permian period. So now, as per this information, in Silurian period, jawed fishes are developed. In Ordovician period, less fishes are appeared. In Devonian period, fishes are abundant. That is considered as age of fishes. And Permian, mammal-like reptiles are appeared in Permian period. So the correct answer is option 3. Devonian period is the age of fishes, golden age of fishes. Thank you, students.